This week marks the beginning of the holiday season here in Israel, which means this whole month is gonna be super tight. It's not gonna be any week that I'm gonna be working actually 5 days a week. There's gonna be vacation on every week. But I know that might sound off like a bit of an excuse to not be productive, but to me it's just constrained, and I'm gonna have to think how I'm gonna achieve the goals, and I have big goals for this month under those constraints. Right now I'm heading to meet Ayal for our weekly lunch and Prospero meeting, and then try to keep the rest of the day super productive as well. So we're trying a new co-working space, new around here in town, that's run actually by the city of Tel Aviv, and for now it's free, so it's pretty awesome. Looks like it's gonna be fun working from here. Alright, it's been a pretty productive day. Great meeting with Ayal. We've made a lot of progress on Prospero. A new version is coming along nicely. I'm starting to run some Facebook ads hopefully this week. And so we made great progress. Happy about that. Then some client meeting, working with Alex, the designer, in my client's office. And it's funny, you know, I started this day, I wanted to talk about the constraints of trying to build our business Prospero under, you know, time constraints. We're only working half a week on it, and money constraints. We're not funded by, you know, investors. We're bootstrapping our business. And then actually the whole kind of discussion that I had with Alex, the designer, today was around constraints and how to deal with them, because she was saying stuff like, but the client doesn't have the resources to do this really nicely, and we don't have time for this. And I actually think that the claim, I don't have the money, or I don't have the budget, or I don't have the time to make this design wonderful, is kind of like one of the most common design complaints ever. And the way I think about it, you don't have to complain about this constraint. You actually have to embrace it and kind of be creative about this, because I think that, you know, the whole difference between art and design is the fact that design is about constraints. You know, you're working for a client, they have a specific deadline, they have a specific budget, and it doesn't matter what you could do if you had $1 million. It doesn't matter what you could do if you had like 6 more months for the project. The only thing that matters is what you can do under those constraints. And I think that, you know, dealing with those constraints is sometimes what leads to major creative, you know, breakthroughs. And I think, for example, you know, the design of punk posters, you know, back from the 50s or whatever, is a great design of how a design style was actually developed by the constraints of, we don't have money for photography, we don't have money for production, so we're just gonna copy paste some stuff and Xerox it and create posters like that. And that's amazing. That created a whole kind of visual style. And I think that's the way you think about this. You have to embrace it and think creatively, what can I do under those constraints? And, you know, I've been recently really struggling with it myself, because I'm always thinking about Prospero. You know, our competitors, they have great teams working full-time on it. We're just 2, we're working, you know, part-time. We have constraints of, you know, I'm a father of 2 children. I have the holiday season coming up, and the money thing, I can't spend like millions of dollars on this because I didn't take money from, you know, venture capitalists. But I feel like those constraints doesn't mean that we're gonna lose or they're a reason to complain, but I feel like that's what's gonna force us to focus and find our unique, you know, way to solve this problem that we're trying to solve, and, you know, bring something original and creative and awesome, hopefully. So I'm saying this to you, but I'm actually saying this to myself. Stop complaining about, you know, that fact that you don't have time and money, and just find a creative way to do something awesome anyway. That's all for today, guys. Hope you had a great day. I'll catch you tomorrow.